What's up everybody, Tim Conley here, and we're going to do something new. We've got a question from an audience member asking a question on how to break into a new industry. So let's, you know what to do. Check it.
Hey Tim, thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you. I've been trying to build an agency for about 2 years now, and your content has been of tremendous assistance to me. It has given me so much clarity, so thank you very much.
Hey Soji, I'm glad you're getting a ton of value from the channel. So let's get into your question.
About 3 questions. First is about business model. I've done very serious research about business model, and one thing I've realized is that the agency model is broken, as many people in the industry already talk about, and I feel I'm at an advantage because I'm not used to that traditional way of thinking. And so far I've seen 2 agencies that resonate with me a lot. That's Anomaly and Ideal, and then their approach is a little bit more open-ended. They are a multidisciplinary agency, and so the structure is very different. Then when it comes to revenue as well, revenue model is you see a business like Anomaly sell intellectual property. They also do value-based pricing, performance-based pricing, and I think all of that approach kind of changes the process of how that business itself interacts with their customer, how they are positioned, and how they even brand, and everything they do about the business, basically.
Okay, Soji, I gotta stop you. That wasn't actually a question. It sounds like you like a business model that you've seen somewhere. So selling intellectual property, that's what we do as experts. No matter how you package it, you're selling your expertise. You might only package it in the form of labor. That's what most agencies do. Oh, you want an ad? Well, I will make you an ad. They don't focus on the thinking as much as the doing. So that's where a lot of agencies fall apart. Business model, value-based pricing. Well, value-based pricing, and I've talked about this in other videos, is really hard to get. If you're not a renowned expert in your market, you can't command value-based fees. You can do performance-based if you're not renowned because, well, you only get paid when your work performs. But even then, that is usually relegated to labor. You do some form of labor and then it gets some form of result, and then you get paid. I do know of a few consultants that they only get paid when they have achieved the goals outlined with their clients, and they don't do any actual labor. They only do planning and thinking and strategy, and that's all they do, and they still do it as a performance-based model, but that's really rare. So let's get into the rest of your question.
I've always thought for a while that my core service, could I have strategy as my core service? Now, I'm not talking about paid discovery. Now I'm talking about a business has a problem and they come to you to figure it out. That's to help them define what the problem is and to figure what the solution is. Can that be your core strategy, core service rather? I've been thinking about that, so I'd like you to address it.
All right, that's a great question. Can strategy be your core service? To anyone who hasn't watched all my videos, which you should do, they're really good, they'll teach you a lot. I have a concept on the 3 revenue streams that an agency should have. 1, your core service. That's the thing you do for your main source of revenue. 2 is training. You should be selling your intellectual property in the form of training. That could be in person, live, online. It could be courses where they work at their own pace. You should be selling that intellectual property. You have things in your head that you know, and your clients would love to buy that, but it doesn't come out well in the form of labor, as just buying that as labor from you, which, your core service. Then the third revenue stream is consulting or coaching. That intellectual property, your thinking process, is very valuable to your clients because it's what they're ultimately buying from you in your labor, is that your labor is turning your expertise into some result. But the expertise is what they're really after. And so you should be selling that. So can you just sell strategy, sell thinking as your core service? And well, you can. I've been doing it. Consultants have been doing it for a very long time. Strategy as a service requires you to do market research, to do a deep dive in the business, to really understand what they're after, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, SWOT analysis, going deep into who that company is and their customers and what they're trying to achieve, and then building a plan with them to achieve that. That is a business. It's the thing that clients really do care the most about. They just don't know how to say it when all the other agencies only offer that thinking in the form of labor. All right, so hit me with more.
Lastly, there is this idea of experience design. And okay, so originally I have like an architectural background. I have a master's in architecture, and then that has helped me to see a lot of things differently. And I've resonated a lot with this idea of experience design, and I've been doing a lot of deep study on it. And that is what I'm trying to build my agency around. So, and it's a strange concept. It's not something that people understand a whole lot about. So I'm trying to see, is this something that can also offer as a service? How do I go about it? It's just a lot of questions and things I need to resolve that I have in my mind. But for now, these are my questions.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I have an architectural background. Granted, my professors would rather I not say that because I dropped out with one semester left in architecture school to chase my internet dreams. So I understand the idea of crafting experience. There is this upcoming discipline called experience design. It's a new evolution from the user experience of the internet, the early days, and offline, where you crafted an experience in the real world. These things are starting to come together as a new discipline. And yeah, if people don't understand it, they're gonna have a hard time buying it. And if you are new to it, you're gonna have a hard time selling it as a service. So what you really should be doing is teaching it. I did a video on how to become an authority really fast, and it's on this concept that I call augmented reality. You can augment the reality, your environment. You can design the environment around yourself to give your new audience, the people you're hoping will give you money, an experience, right? So design the experience you want people to have. So to do this when you're not already an authority, you're not already renowned as the person to go to for this thing, is you study, which you have already been doing, then you craft it into a lesson and you share it. So study, teach, share. STS. Do that regularly. Do that consistently. If you can do, say, at least one post a day, Monday through Friday on LinkedIn, don't try to go anywhere else just yet. There are going to be people on LinkedIn who are really interested in experience design. And they're going to consume your content. They're going to like your ideas from the things that you've learned. The more you study, the more you teach it, and the more you share it, the faster you'll become known as an authority in that space. A great example is AJ and Smart. They were a design agency that developed digital products like apps. They realized that their customer base would have all this big planning, and they would come up with this big grand idea, and then they'd start building it, and then the app just wouldn't achieve it. The design that they created just wouldn't achieve that grand design because, well, It was the wrong problem. They were solving for the wrong thing. They had no way of validating this idea cheaply. Google invented a thing called a design sprint. They discovered it, fell in love with it, started learning everything they could about design sprints, and started teaching it and sharing that with the world. Fast forward a couple of years, and they are the authority on design sprints. Even more so than the guy who actually invented it, this guy Jake Knapp at Google. They are more renowned than him because they have been teaching it, and not just teaching it, but implementing it. They started with their clients. They said, let's do a design sprint before we actually design your app and build this thing out. Let's do that first. And so they started practicing what they were learning on their clients. After that, they started teaching their clients how to run their own design sprints. And then that became a training product, and they started teaching the world how to do design sprints. Now AJ and Smart is a training company and not a design company. Their core service is training people on design sprints, how to do design sprints. Their secondary revenue stream is running design sprints. I'm not sure if they still do too many of those. And then their third revenue stream, which I think they completely phased out, is actually designing the thing that's developed in the sprint. Okay, Soji, to break into experience design, just study, teach, share, and keep doing that. Then start finding people who actually are interested, because they're going to start posting on your comments. Reach out to them, connect with them on LinkedIn, and then see if you can start doing small experience design projects for them. It doesn't have to be big. Do some small ones and create case studies, because then this proves that your study and your teaching have turned into expertise, and that expertise will become your authority. How long will this take? I don't know. It could take 2 years before you got a paying client. But if you are really interested in this, you should only go into a business idea anyways if you're willing to commit at least 5 years to figuring it out. If you're that committed, then dive deep into studying it, teaching it, sharing it, and then connecting with all the people who resonate with what you're teaching. You will find clients out of that. Hopefully that answers your question. And for those who are watching, hopefully you got value out of this too. If you're in the same spot where you're trying to break into a place that you're not already an expert, well then follow these steps. Take action on it. And also take action on that like button. Subscribe, share, do all the socials, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, before you go, check out this video right here on how to become an authority fast. It goes into depth on what I was teaching in this video. Go there, learn how to become an authority quickly, and build your business. All right, we're done.